Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida because guess what? We have some more Mustang fun to talk about. I have a brand new 2020 Mustang GT, this one with a 6-speed manual transmission, featured in the new for 2020 Iconic Silver. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this iconic car before we dive into this one. Mustang's been around since 1964 and a half, has been that pony car that really started the whole craze. Eventually General Motors would catch on with the Camaro and the Pontiac Firebird, and then of course the Dodge Challenger as well. Fast forward to the 21st century, and I think Ford is really staying true to that muscle car performance, especially when it comes to that good old V8 underneath the hood. And if you look, they're definitely blowing everybody out of the water sales-wise, outselling the Camaro, outselling the Challenger. And the way that they're doing it, there's lots of different trims, lots of different options to make the Mustang of your dreams come true. This particular one I chose because this has been really a top seller. The Mustang GT with the black accent package, whether you go 10-speed automatic or 6-speed manual, this has really been the go-to, especially when you see inside and see some of those premium level appointments that we're talking about with this particular model. But let's go ahead, dive into this 2020 Mustang GT. Right off the bat, one of my favorite things, it looks like a Mustang, even though totally redesigned. As you drop down, you can see what's going on with the headlight housing, all blacked out on the inside. I like the addition of the LED projector headbeam, plus the LED tri-bar marker lights. That's an iconic sign of the Mustang that goes all the way back to those late 60s and into the 70s. Now, one area that I almost automatically want to zonk, but guess what? It is functional. They do have a functional air curtain in the side. That's to help channel the air. And I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again, especially for some of the new viewers. This design, when they refreshed it, they actually looked at Darth Vader's mask when designing it, and you could clearly see it in this lower section. Now, as we come across that front grille, I love what they've done with the hexagonal design. It's all gloss black, and with the black accent package, I think it's one of the best options that you could choose. You have your blacked out pony, and then you'll see there's some other additions, and for right around about $900, it's a great value. We drop down, you get the same design, but they went flat black. Now, at first, you would think, oh, Joe's gonna zonk that. I think it's smart because this area is gonna get hit a lot more with sand and rocks and dirt. It's gonna take a better beating than this pretty gloss black, but I love the way that it's shaped and just screams Mustang. You do have a little bit of a lower lip spoiler. If you want more, there are two performance packages for the Mustang GT. PP1 and PP2 will actually extend that lip spoiler, give you more downforce, give you a little bit more air into that radiator. As we pop up onto the hood, no matter which trim you go to, you're gonna get the same hood design. Like the body lines right here, goes around, and then I also think if you follow it, it just curves very nicely. Iconic Silver shows off the lines of this hood perfectly. You have two functional heat extractors. So the whole purpose of that is we're gonna drag cool air in from the front, pull that hot air out from top, because remember, hot air robs us of horsepower. We come around the bend and you're gonna see another addition of the black accent package, these specific style wheels. I love the design. Sort of almost has like a split spoke, but they didn't go all the way through. You can see the 4-piston caliper. It's a flat gray. I wish they would have went with a gloss gray finish. I think that it would just age a little bit better than what you see here, but really just nice, clean style to this wheel setup. And I think that it's so smart that they offer that with the black accent package. Now, as we go into the fender treatment, you can see that iconic 5.0 badge. I remember back in high school, the Fox body Mustangs, the 5.0s, the 5 liters, that really was the resurgence of horsepower in the Mustang, because if you remember, as we went through 73 into 74, 75, 76, the Mustang 2, not really a muscle car. The Fox body though, started to get that muscle car flavor back, and it was the 5.0, that 5-liter V8, which is same thing underneath this hood. A little different, actually a lot different, but still about performance and horsepower. We go down the lines. Everything else is gonna be Mustang specific. There's no major changes. Black accent, you're gonna get also your blacked out roof as well. I like the way it's gloss black, and I really think that if you get a silver car, if you're not getting racing stripes, you definitely got to go with the blacked out roof. I just love the actual, just overall look. We keep working our way back, and you'll notice this lower sill panel kind of flares back to the edge, and then you can see what we're working with wheel and tire setup. So with the accent package, you're going from an 18-inch wheel to a 19-inch wheel, 255 on the width, and a 40 series sidewall. I think for a daily driver and somebody who wants the Mustang GT, wants a V8, but doesn't have to go full crazy with performance, I think that this is a perfect balance, and that's why it's a top seller, because you could get it 6-speed or 10-speed automatic. As we come around to the rear, there's some more final additions to the black accent package. I love this trunk lid spoiler, just enough little kick up to give it some style. I even like the way it kind of has a nice flow and drops down in the center. You have your GT badge, which is normally chrome, is going to be blacked out, hence the name black accent package. And then I think the smartest thing they could have ever done on a Mustang GT is they went away from dual exhaust, one exhaust on each side, to the quad exhaust on both sides. And they really worked on the sound, because that was a sore spot for many people. Even the rear diffuser area, it's functional, it looks good, and also so smart where they place that reverse lamp, especially at night when you're backing it out, because it'll light up the ground a lot more efficiently. But why don't we go ahead, we talked about the outside, let's pop the hood and check out that V8. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. One thing that's still a sore spot is the prop rod, especially for the hood. It's a little heavier, and I think they should have had hydraulic struts. Underneath this massive aircraft carrier style engine cover is that 5-liter V8. I wish they would just rip this out and show off that intake plenum. But basically, you are looking at 460 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque. Like I said, you could have it your way, just like Burger King. 10-speed automatic or 6-speed manual. 0 to 60 with the manual, depending on how fast you could shift, is around 4.2 seconds, quarter mile in 12.9 at 112 miles an hour, and the car weighs around 4,475 pounds. If you're wondering, well, hey, is this muscle car gonna drain my wallet at the gas pump? You're basically looking at about 15 in the city and 24 on the highway. But let's get to the best part of any muscle car, especially the Mustang. Let's fire up this V8 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this Mustang GT, iconic silver. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, if this is a top seller, how much is this one? Now, I'm talking MSRP. If you go to Walker Ford's website, there's definitely discounts on this car. You're looking at MSRP of around $44,800. Now, this one has a nice balance of options, and I think that's why it's very popular. Let's go to the door panels. On the door panels, Ford has done a great job with soft material all across the top. I like the leather on the mid portion and on the armrest, and that white contrast stitching really pops nicely with some silver brushed aluminum looking plastic, which looks very nice as well. Now, as you go from the door panel to the dash, it has that iconic dual cowl setup, soft material. It's 55 years, guys, 55 years since the birth of the Mustang, and they're celebrating with a nice little plaque. I like the trim here in the center. You have your 3 AC vents. We drop down, this one being the premium has that sync system, infotainment with navigation. You could get in your climate control, very, very easy to use. You have heated and ventilated seats, and you could operate everything through the touchscreen. Now, if you have a phobia of touchscreens, like you think a touchscreen is gonna kill you or take your life, there's good news, we have buttons. So you have your volume and tuning knobs, your buttons for the radio system, you keep toggling down. Here's your ventilated seats, heated seats, and AC controls. And then this has the nice chrome plastic toggle switches, like right out of a P51 Mustang, to go into your different drive modes, steering feel, and that's a real aluminum start-stop button. I've tested it with my aluminum tester. They aren't lying, it's real. You have a USB jack and a 12-volt. Right there, a little place for your phone or some Jolly Ranchers or Breath Mints if you're gonna pick up your girlfriend or boyfriend. And then this is the magic right here. This is that 6-speed transmission, not the same as the GT350. So that's a zonk for me. I wish it was that T660, but still fairly short throws, and definitely it's a manual, so I'm all about that. As you can see, functioning cup holder, so it really holds a bottle. Look at that, nice. You're gonna have your Mustang specific key fob. That's a nice touch that Ford does. I like the back section. And then good old-fashioned e-brake, soft material on the armrest with the stitching. We open this up, you got another USB, tons of space for your Reese's peanut butter cups. Hopefully they won't melt, eat them fast. Seats, this one has the full leather, love the material, ventilated and heated like I said, and I really like the nice contrast stitching. My only big gripe is, especially for like on the driver's side, is that the back is manual, but the bottom is electric. It should be all electric. The good news is plenty of headroom in here for sure, but why don't you get on over the business end? I wanna show you behind the wheel of this Mustang GT. All right guys, business time in this Mustang GT. Like I was telling you, you do have electric assist on the bottom portion, but for some reason, they cheaped out and went with manual control on the back. I do like the Mustang badging, and guess what? This does light up at night. I've tested it. We went to a dark room. Unfortunately, the dark room has been closed for the day, so I can't show you, but I promise you it lights up. Seating position, that classic Mustang look. The steering wheel has a great leather, nice softness. I wish that they would have an option of a flat bottom steering wheel, and I'm not really loving the new 21st Pony. I like the traditional Pony. If you look at this button here with the Pony on it, this is for your active exhaust. So this one does have the exhaust where you could go normal, or my favorite, you could go track and really let it scream and piss off your neighbors. We go back and let me show you off this wonderful digital, that's a 12-inch digital display. We're in normal, we go to Sport Plus. Look at how it changes. You go into track, watch, it's gonna change. You see now the tack is across the top. And then you can keep going. Drag strip, this has line lock. You could do your smoky burnouts, smoke them if you got them. That's the way I live my life. And you could do that in your Mustang GT. But overall, that's one of the top selling features in a Mustang GT is that dash, as you can see. But why don't we go ahead, check out the trunk and see how usable this GT is for a daily driver. All right, guys, if you're trying to convince your significant other, hey, you should get a Mustang, and their question is, well, how usable it is, this is really where you're gonna be able to pay off big, because the trunk space, out of all the different muscle cars I mentioned, Camaro and the Challenger, which is actually a larger vehicle than this Mustang, they can't beat it when it comes to trunk space. We open up the trunk, nice and easy. Now, this may seem like a small opening, but comparing apples to apples, the opening is actually nice and wide, plenty of room. The seats are gonna do a 60-40 split, and I promise you, tell them, listen, I get the Mustang, I'll go get the groceries. You'll be getting the groceries faster than you ever did in any car before it. And that's what makes the Mustang such a nice, versatile, usable car. Now, if you want some hard numbers, you're looking at 13.8 cubic feet of space. I forgot my ruler at home, so I can't actually show you. But why don't we go ahead and get to the best part of any Mustang review. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this one for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the Mustang GT with that wonderful 6-speed. We're leaving Walker Ford. Like I said, this particular trim with the 6-speed, especially the automatic, is one of the top sellers. Let me go ahead. We're in second gear, on roll, all the way. You just let her scream. Even though it's not a GT350, you're still hitting a red line of 7,000 RPM. And the way that the 5-liter is able to do that is with that quad cam engine. Now, of course, for me, there's just no substitute, and GT350's got to be the answer to all my problems. That has a red line of 8,250 RPM. But still, this Mustang GT gets up and moves. It's a really, really wonderful package setup, especially this one with the premium interior, with that 12-inch display. It gives it a nice overall feel of old school Mustang with new school Mustang. And as you can see, we're sitting here at a light and it purrs like a pussycat. So that's another great thing about the Mustang. This particular one has the active exhaust. Make it louder, make it quieter, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Clutch pickup is nice. Even if you haven't driven a manual in a while or never driven a manual, you can learn on this car. You just got to be patient, but it's got a good pickup point. It's not like an on-off switch. My favorite part about the Mustang GT is you're able to actually do different steering feels. So you hit that toggle switch that I showed you earlier. Right now I'm in sport, so it gives it a nice heavier feel. If you don't want that heavier feel, you're just cruising, hey, you can put it in comfort and you'll be totally fine. But just love driving these Mustangs, that classic muscle car look and feel, and you don't feel cramped in it like you do a Camaro, which is good news, obviously. Over the bumps, soaks them up. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised at how well this Mustang GT drives, and you can enjoy it no matter what the speed you're traveling at, what the traffic situation. It's really wonderful. Now, as you can see, we have some Florida Highway Patrol. They love the Mustang GT as well. I'm sure what they love is writing tickets, but hey, we're not doing anything wrong, officer, so we're all good. Visibility out the front windshield's great. Side windows are fine too, and even the back window is nice and large. My only zonk is the side mirrors are a little on the tiny side. But as you drive your Mustang GT and get to really know it for you, it makes sense. It'll all make sense, and it won't be that big of a deal. I think my favorite part, like I said, these seats are comfortable. Not a lot of side bolstering, but you can get Recaros. You can option Recaros in a Mustang GT. But if you're probably thinking, if you even can say the word Recaro, like if I say Recaro to you and you know what that means, you're probably going PP1 or PP2. Or if you got the funds, you're maybe going GT350, I don't know. So that would make sense to have Recaros in a car like that. This particular one, just having the black accent package, it makes sense to have this interior, especially here in Florida. Feels good with the nice ventilated seats. But very, very smooth. And overall, just, it's a pleasure to drive one of these. You'd think that it would be like the old days where it's gonna huff and puff and blow somebody's house down and make driving hard. It really doesn't. It's really a nice operating car and just very smooth. Let's see how she handles. So on the throttle, on the brakes, second gear, really nice. Look at this. And this, like I said, this isn't the high performance one. We get on, yeah, a little bit of slide in the back, and then you just let her sing. Nice. Very, very nice. Everything that you love about a Mustang, you love about America, you love about Ford. It's all wrapped up in this car. That's the wonderful, wonderful news. But super, super smooth. Power delivery, if you've never driven a naturally aspirated V8, the power delivery is so smooth, so linear, really, really nice. Let's see how we handle again here. So downshifted into second, on the brakes, really nice and smooth. Oh, look at this, holds the line great, roll on throttle, roll on throttle, roll on throttle. Here we go. Really nice. You feel confident, it makes you feel good. You know, if you had a Mustang in the past, you could relive those days of your old Mustang. Or, you know, it seems that everybody has a Mustang story. I've never owned a Mustang, but I have plenty of Mustang stories from when I was younger. But hopefully this gave you an overall feel. The car, the seats are great, easy to get to that infotainment system. The sync system works great. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the whole BAM. You don't have to pay extra for that like you do some other brands, expensive brands out there. But we're gonna go ahead, wrap this up, and get back to Walker Ford. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another wonderful day here at Walker Ford. I definitely got to thank Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin, Greg, Ivy, everybody so accommodating here, getting us this 2020 Mustang. Is it a hot muscle car that you should add to your garage? I would say yes. How can you go wrong? And definitely great of Ford to offer so many different trims that if this one doesn't fit your budget or what you want out of your Mustang, they have others, but this is one of the top selling trim Mustang GTs you can find. If you want to keep seeing cars like these on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to my wonderful wife, Lori. She loves Mustangs. She wants to drive this thing. We're taking it for a spin. We're actually going to borrow it for the day. So get ready, Lori. Let's light them up and smoke those tires. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.